Hi, we are going to continue in chapter 9. So this is the first video for our chapter 9 on the technical analysis. Previously in chapter 8 we have learned about fundamental analysis. So fundamental analysis is more towards understanding the economic, industrial, and the company's factor, which contributes to the common stock buying and selling. Okay, so but in technical analysis, we are going to take a look on the published market data for the stock market. So this technical analysis use specific published market data for the analysis of both the stock market as a whole and the individual stock. So it is also called as market analysis. So this technical analysis being used by the investors, analysts out there to predict the movement of the share prices, to make decision on what shares to buy or when we are going to buy the shares and so on. Okay, so firstly, let's take a look on the historical part of the technical analysis. Back in the early 1800s, the industry and company analysis has not yet been developed. So there is no balance sheet, no profit or loss account, no industry figures, and no earnings per share data to be analyzed. Unlike right now, you can just go to the Bursa Malaysia website and you can actually download the annual report of the company with the complete balance sheet, complete profit or loss account for us to analyze the company's data. But in the early 1800s, they start to trading the share, but the proper balance sheet or proper figures about the company is not yet being published during that time. So what happened is that investors can only study the market charts with which were used to analyze when buyers were moving in and out and it is profitable to buy or sell. Okay, so the chart focus on the price movement of the shares and certain pattern form to indicate when a share should be bought or sold. All right, so there are particular there are kind of theory that being generates, okay, during that time. Okay, the first is about the Dow Theory, right? Dow Theory. I know you must be familiar with the word Dow. Yes, Dow Jones, right? In US. So this is the theory that being a kind of theory that being developed by Charles H. Dow. So in the late 1800s, Charles H. Dow developed the oldest theory in technical analysis, which is known as Dow Theory, okay, which is known as the Dow Theory. So basic of this theory believe that there are three types of price movement. So this is the part of the summarize of the Charles H. Dow Theory. So there are primary movements, secondary movements, or also the tertiary movement or the minor or the near terms movement. So this one, I will explain further according to your textbook. It is much more details. So let's take a look on the theory that being developed by this Charles H. Dow, right? Okay. So this is the part that I have actually takes from your textbook. Okay, right? So what are the basics points from the Charles H. Dow theory? This theory is actually after the death of the Charles H. Dow in 1902. The theory then being developed by being expanded by the few like Robert Rea and a few two other person. So they stated that this theory could be generated like this one, right? So there are 6 prominent conditions as described. Okay, the first condition is that the Dow Theory stated that the average discount everything. So dalam teori Dow ni, dia mengatakan average akan discount everything, right? Meaning that over here Dow believe that every possible factor affecting the supply and demand must be reflected in the market average. Jadi teori Dow memang banyak melihat kepada purata ataupun average movement of the share price. So dia banyak melihat kepada keadaan average of the share price and so on. So it stated that kalau mengikutkan Dow Theory ni based on its average, right? Dia akan melihat salah satu average tu move ke mana dan dia akan menyatakan bahawa the next related average akan follow. The next related average akan follow, right? So itu yang dikatakan tentang Dow Theory. So based on average, right? Second, the market has 3 trends. Mengikut teori Dow, dalam teori Dow, dia ada 3 trend movement, iaitu primary, secondary dan juga minor, which is I already stated secara ringkas in my notes earlier. Yes, this one. So kita ada primary, pergerakan harga ada 3, primary movement, secondary, dan juga kita ada minor, kita theory or minor movement. Kalau primary dia based on long term, kalau primary movement based on the long term price movement, iaitu at least beberapa tahun, 4 years back, 2 years back or something like that, Kalau secondary movement, pergerakan harga kita tengok trend selama beberapa minggu atau beberapa bulan. Kalau tertiary ataupun minor trend, kita akan tengok minor or near term, dia panggil near term trend ni akan melihat kepada beberapa minggu sahaja. Sangat short lah. Very short term untuk theory or the day to day movement, dia tengok secara lebih mungkin hanya dalam 2 minggu, 3 minggu, right? So this is the theory yang dinyatakan mengikut Dow Theory. Bermakna ada 3 pergerakan, 3 jenis trend pergerakan harga. Primary, tengok tahun. Secondary, several weeks or months. Dan tertiary could be just a few weeks, lagi shorter than the secondary one. So let's take a look. Apa lagi yang dikatakan tentang Dow Theory? Selain daripada market memiliki 3 trend pergerakan harga tadi, the third adalah major trends have 3 phases. So pergerakan price dan juga market di dalam sesuatu bursa ataupun satu-satu pasaran dikatakan mempunyai 3 fasa. Mengikut Dow Theory ada 3 fasa. So there are 3 distinct phases. The first one is accumulation phase. Second one is public participation or advancing phase. And the third one is distribution phase. So jangan confuse, ada 3 phase. Pertama adalah accumulation, kedua adalah public participation, ketiga adalah distribution phase. Untuk accumulation phase, dia merujuk kepada keadaan di mana investors agak aktif buying and selling share. Okay. So it's stated over here, it represent informed buying by the most astute investors. Okay, investors yang dah lama berada di pasaran, dah mahir dengan keadaan pasaran dan agak bijak menentukan which shares to buy or sell pada masa ini. So, pada fasa ini, pada keadaan ini, investors akan mula membeli dan menjual stok dengan agak aktif. Okay. Dan pada masa ini juga, stock price tidak akan berubah dengan secara besar-besaran. So, kalau berubah pun hanya sedikit sahaja. Okay. Stock price doesn't change much during this accumulation phase. Dan perubahan secara besar-besaran itu biasanya akan berlaku pada stage yang kedua, iaitu public participation stage. Okay, so dekat sini, price akan begins to advance rapidly and as the business news improve. So di sini akan mula berubah secara besar-besaran. Mungkin disebabkan faktor ekonomi yang agak bagus dan rancak, disebabkan faktor news ataupun rumours yang didengari terhadap share tersebut dan sebagainya. So, akan berlaku perubahan harga yang besar-besaran di fasa yang kedua ini, iaitu public participation phase. Dan fasa ketiga adalah distribution phase. Okey, pada fasa distribution phase ni, apabila tadi dalam keadaan yang bullish, di sini kita katakan dalam keadaan yang agak bullish di mana ekonomi agak strong mungkin. So, ada banyak berlaku perubahan terhadap share prices dan sebagainya. Active participation from all the investors kan. Right? So, akhirnya pada fasa ketiga, when economics news is kita katakan better, right? Mulalah speculator akan masuk, right? Akan takes in dan cuba grab all the opportunities. Right, so apabila shares itu begin to be sell dan begin to be bought secara spekulatif, mula dijual secara spekulatif, ini yang kita panggil sebagai fasa yang ketiga, di mana investors begin to sell and distribute their holdings to the market. So, fasa ketiga inilah fasa di mana spekulasi mula berleluasa dan investors sudah mula melepaskan dia punya pegangan share kepada public secara umumlah kepada investors di luar sana di pasaran. Okay? Sebab di sini dah mula speculators masuk dan cuba untuk mengambil peluang membeli dengan secara pukal ataupun menjual sesuatu share dengan secara banyak dan sebagainya. Okay, ini adalah fasa yang ketiga. Right? So, mengikut Dow Theory ada 3 jenis fasa keadaan pasaran. Okay? Keadaan pasaran ada 3 fasa. Accumulation, public participation dan juga distribution. Okay, yang market trend tadi adalah trend pergerakan harga. Ya? Mengikut saya ulas balik. Market trend tadi adalah trend pergerakan harga. Sama ada harga itu kalau dalam primary movement, kita tengok mengikut unjuran tahun. Okay, kita akan ambil data yang lama. Okay, 2 or 3 to 4 years. Kalau untuk secondary movement, kita tengok dalam tempoh beberapa bulan. Okay, contoh sebulan hingga 6 bulan. Dan yang ketiga adalah yang fasa yang ketiga adalah yang trend yang terakhir. Minor or near term ni kita tengok dalam hanya beberapa minggu sahaja. Okay, ini adalah trend pergerakan harga. Jangan tertukar dengan keadaan fasa trend mengikut market tadi. Okay, ini bukan pergerakan harga ya. Ini adalah keadaan pasaran. Okay, sesuatu share dalam keadaan stage mana. Okay, stage accumulation, stage public participation ataupun distribution. Okay. So, we also have another theories being developed by this Dow Theory. Yang ketiga, I'll explain. Yang keempat, I'll explain in the next video.